Welcome to the next episode of our AI Unscripted series. And today we're going to talk about the outlook. We're going to talk about predictions for 25 and beyond. And of course, as always, I'm not alone. And I'm here with two of my colleagues, Xavier and Quinten. Quinten, you are the master of ceremony. We are here in our brand new experience center that also has an AI lab.
Absolutely.
What is it, in fact, an AI lab?
Well, the purpose of the AI lab is related to what we do in Experience Center as well. Bring our clients, internally and externally, our visitors, an experience about AI. If you look in the way that we as a firm have been investing in AI, Gen AI specifically, but of course AI already in the context of emerging technologies as well, we cannot only talk about it. We need people to understand it, feel it, learn it, play with it as well. And that's why we created a Gen AI lab, so that we can show to our clients, our potential clients, but also our visitors, what we are doing with Gen AI, other clients, with client cases, internally with use cases, our story of client zero, or patient zero, they like to call it as well. But not only showing instead of telling, but also let people play with it, learn with it, really that they have the experience of what it is, but also more importantly, what it can mean for them and how we as a firm, of course, can help with that.
So user experience and all that stuff.
User experience, but also the different kind of applications. It's the, let's say, the GPTs of this world, our own chat PwC or the co-pilots or the chat GPTs are, I think, well known. But it's even more the stories that we have, our cooperation with Microsoft and those kind of applications. If you look in tax, also the link with Harvey that we have, that it's not only let's say the consulting, the advice part, but we're really doing the stuff as well. And also in the context of the Capture the AI flag game that we built in the context of upskilling internally, but also for our clients. It should be about doing and showing what we are doing, what we can do, and not just a facade of the potential. That's the reason why we have this. So the purpose indeed should be in here as well, not only to inspire, but also to upskill, to learn, to show and to interact with how we can help our clients and their users and so on.
Okay, a number of elements we're definitely going to touch upon later on, also in the context of how will that evolve. And for that specifically, Xavier, I also invited you. So you're our AI lead. I think back in the days, you even were the youngest CEO of Oracle Belgium ever. Mm-hmm. How do you see this all evolving? Because that's a bit the purpose, predictions. You also posted on LinkedIn your predictions for 25. Mm-hmm. Many people read it, liked it, but what are the predictions?
Well, first of all, I'm extremely excited, and some say that I'm maybe easily excited. But with this Gen AI wave, I see so many positive, I would say, evolutions, and it moves so fast that it's exciting actually to look at the potential, to explore the possibilities, and look what it can bring to not only individuals, but also to organizations, but actually society at large as well in many areas. And indeed, there's a number of predictions. The focus of the predictions were more on the business impact and what it means for CXOs. It was not predictions about which technology to choose. We have seen with, even very recently now with DeepSeek, that the technology is evolving extremely fast, even before DeepSeek. I'm following a daily podcast. There's almost every single day something being launched by Google, by Microsoft, by Meta, by Salesforce, you name it. So there's so many capabilities and possibilities that are being brought to our clients. But how do you translate that into value? And that's actually the main focus of the predictions.
Because it's based on a study that was done within PwC?
Yeah, so we also with our team here, we're part of, I would say, the global AI expert group. And there has been a number of predictions, not only based on, this is not a coffee machine discussion about, okay, what is the next thing? It's also based on the numerous workshops that we do with clients, the projects that we do with clients, the value that we see generally, but also the difficulties or the impact on sustainability, for example, discussions that we have. And that has led, in fact, to those predictions.
Mm-hmm. And so what are the general trends that you then see?
Well, the general trends are that the power and the potential of AI and Gen AI is there. And I know it's maybe a bit in a fashion to say, oh, it's all exaggerated. But actually, the best is yet to come. I mean, every single day, as I mentioned, there are new technologies, but also new possibilities, capabilities, more efficient for certain tasks, for broader tasks. And the predictions are more on, okay, you need to embed it in your strategy. You need to, as a C-level, as a management team, you need to think what it can mean for your business and how you will deal with it. I think that's a very important one. And the other predictions are a bit, I would say, linked to that. One, it's not necessarily about which language model, because those technologies are evolving so fast, but also the quality of the outputs, how it can be used is evolving very fast. Now, if you embed it in your strategy, you should also think then on, okay, where can it have an impact? And there are like 3 layers that are commonly looked at. There's the general user productivity, the efficiency of the whole workforce, where typically Copilot and so on have an impact on how can AI and Gen AI have an impact on the individual person to do things better, faster, and so on. But secondly, you have those, what we call in the study the roof shot projects, which are actually improvements that you can do. We see some projects that we're currently working on here in Belgium right now is, I mean, we're helping a client in the consumer products on optimizing the procurement and composition of the products, actually for the packaging, where the dynamic pricing, but also the dynamic composition of the materials can evolve, and where we help to make the right decisions, in fact, on the short and the medium term. But it also goes, I would say, even in the defense sector, where we help on logistical challenges, where we can help to make faster, better decisions in the logistical area. So these are like specific projects that are, I would say, happening on, I would say, the medium level. And then you have the more transformational projects like, okay, how could it impact my industry? Depending on, of course, if on the activity that you have as an organization, can I leapfrog the competition by bringing a completely different user experience or client experience? Or can I bring a new service or a new product? Or, I mean, how can I make a drastic moonshot type of change? And all those 3 areas require management attention. It needs to be part of a strategic approach. A third element, and I will not name all 6 because I think they're all in the study, but a third one that I found very interesting is, for years there was like this discussion on, okay, what will we do in-house and what will we do outsourced? The possibilities are now broader. Now you can look at, okay, if you create a mindset as a management team to be more AI driven, Gen AI driven, then you can think about many tasks of, okay, can they be done better, faster, cheaper by Gen AI or AI or any other automation methods? If not, okay, what is the human value that we have? Because the humans are still superior. I mean, we can talk about the power of AI and Gen AI. It's impressive, it's mind-blowing, etc. But there is not that many cases where you don't need humans to look at the holistic area. So what is then the role of the people in your workforce strategy? What are the tasks and the roles that they should do, and where can they bring the differentiating value? And only then you can also look at, okay, what are the tasks that can be outsourced, for example? And that continuing is evolving very fast. Everybody will have heard about the agents, AI agents, that actually are almost like humans that are performing a certain task, and again, potentially better, faster, cheaper, or in combination with a human to augment the capabilities of that person.
Maybe an interesting point, because you're referring, of course, to the 3 layers. Definitely the first one, that's more, everyone needs to get acquainted to it. The second one, of course, is then typically copied, and people are saying, okay, that's pure an efficiency play. And also, if you look at the CEO survey that we recently did, yes, there is an increased adoption of AI within organizations, also in Belgium, based on the input of the Belgian CEOs. But they do tend to focus heavily then on the efficiency play. of course, a number of examples that you gave also have to do with the user experience, which then, yeah, you can do it efficient, but it can also improve the user experience. That's also a bit, I think, Quinten, what we see in all kinds of workshops that we organize with clients, we're focusing on user experience and how AI can improve that. Are you seeing that we are all evolving in that direction also? Or is it indeed a bit, as the CEO survey tends to imply, that it's still relatively efficiency?
I think that the possibilities of the user experience or client experience are maybe not fully exploited yet, but they're not necessarily mutually exclusive. Let me give an example. If you're a telco or a utilities company, you have issues with your own invoicing system. I mean, all your clients want to call you because they have an amount that is wrong on their invoice. What happens if you're hanging on the phone for an hour and you're frustrated, and if you're able to augment your call center with a Gen AI based interaction center, voice or chat, then the user satisfaction and the user experience can improve a lot for your clients, but also for your employees, because the employees don't necessarily need to handle the 17,000 calls or more with the same question and the same explanation and being bullied by the customers. It's more efficient. It's and I mean, it's not necessarily mutually exclusive. We also see, for example, we're doing now or have done a project now where we help a big organization to issue job descriptions. The consistency and the quality of the job descriptions is better than the individually created job descriptions by each manager in his department, etc. But the experience for that manager is much better as well, because we create a small tool, the job description is generated, and he reviews or she reviews, and it's actually adapted to, I mean, fine-tune, but it's much faster, it's better, and again, the experience is much better. So I think we see more and more proof points of getting the value as well from an experience point of view. I don't think that everybody sees the potential overall yet, but we're gradually getting progress in that area.
And that's, of course, maybe talking about that point, specifically on that not everyone is seeing it. Of course, a plumber will only see also water that is leaking and so on. So the question is, when you do those types of workshops then, it depends, I guess, also who is involved in those workshops, because if it's then more a technology type of profile, maybe that will be a different flow and outcome also than if you're...
True, but it depends on the personality of the people, but I think also in relation to which level on the organization, but actually where you would like to apply this kind of technology as well. What we currently see is that, as you very correctly said as well, Xavier, it's a challenge of cultural adoption. For the impact, coming back to the story of the plumber as well, the impact for some people, if they start using Gen AI, might be immediate. For some, there's always a bit of the missing trust, the missing understanding to which point can we really use it for which purpose as well. But from my point of view, or from my learning, comes always a bit back to the resemblance I always make with Gen AI. It's like cooking. I'm a really bad cook and I can buy all the books in the world, I can read them all, but if I'm not going to my fridge one day, open the fridge, take some ingredients and start using and playing, then I will never be able to cook. And it's in that way, depending on which level, that it becomes more and more applicable, becomes part of the culture as well. 1 year ago there was this saying, AI will not replace me, or we will be replaced by AI. Basically, it's indeed AI might not replace you, but you also need to give it a chance that and the possibility that AI might be the right body. It's not blindly, we cannot blind it, trustfully blind it, or
blindly trust it.
Thank you very much. But there's also a learning aspect, and indeed in the recent evolutions and developments in there, the story of DeepSeek as well, the best might indeed be yet to come. From what I see in the workshops, indeed, depending on the kind of personality of...
What profiles are typically in those workshops? Is it the board? Is it the CIO? Is it the...
It's mainly a mix because it really depends on what. If we're talking about workshops in the context of, for example, Capture the AI flag, it can be anything. It can be C-level, it can be really the telephone operators. For example, if we're talking about strategic workshops that we're doing, then we're mainly talking about the head of C-level and so on. But also that's more in the context of a strategic workshop, as in, okay, this is a situation, Gen AI is there, we cannot ignore it anymore. What are we going to do on a strategic, tactical, and operational level? So it's always an interesting story or an interesting workshop to do because fit like here, you know where you start, but you get no clue where you're gonna end and what's gonna come up depending on.
Mm-hmm. But actually, on the workshops, we sometimes also have, for example, we did that for a pharma company. There was a certain cost of compliance that team saw the possibility to potentially use Gen AI, or we helped to see that in initial discussions. And then with that small team, we digged into it and worked together with the client team, which was a smaller team, on, okay, how can Gen AI help to transform this? Same thing with in the defense industry on a logistical issue. That was with a very small team where they exposed a challenge. So the workshops are sometimes more the broader inspirational, helping them to open the eyes and be inspirational, and also limits and possibilities. For some of the clients, it's actually really looking at, okay, I think I have a potential problem that can be addressed with Gen AI. And then we have the workshops that dig in much more into detail on exploring the options, the directions, and how to define and create a solution.
When we talked to a number of groups, clients and others a number of months ago, many indicated, it's the massive upskilling that is the key priority. I think now it's a bit of a nuanced picture that we see as to have we achieved that? Is it still the strategy that everyone needs to be at the same level playing field? How do you see that evolving?
Well, if I would be a C-level, and again, maybe depending on the industry, the need may be much higher in banking or financial services compared to I would say, a manufacturing company. Yeah. But for many industries, I would prefer that my people would have at least a basic understanding of what is this Gen AI, the AI, what are the capabilities, what are the threats, what are the issues and ethical considerations, but also how can, I would say, hackers use it, or I would at least want to, and we see that, I mean, a lot of larger organizations that need that, do that type of minimum upskilling. It doesn't mean that there is already adoption then of the tools that are there, and again, depending on the audience, this I would say, if you see the possibility for your organization, then investing in the tools, but making sure that you invest even more so in the adoption of those tools, is, I think, a crucial step. But there is also, and this is a growing, I would say, element, the realization that there may be certain pockets of value, the roof shot projects or the moonshot projects, that require actually investment, a dedicated project, a dedicated approach to look at solving the problem. You know exactly, or more or less, the type of users, and then focus on those. The more focused approach, then the more massive upskilling. In fact, we see the combination of both.
So it's, but because typically when we talk about upskilling, then we talk about the digital assistants, and there are many. That's what you are referring to in terms of a base for everyone. But it's not that everyone needs to then be the deep technical expert in AI. There you focus on specific use cases, specific groups.
Exactly.
And also clearly defining why are you doing it, because that's often something that is a bit lacking. It's a bit, why are you doing it? Well, it doesn't matter, the rest is doing it, so we also have to do it. That's difficult in terms of change, also getting people...
I was laughing because I was remembering the story back in the days with blockchain, where at a certain moment we had clients coming, we need blockchain, why? Yeah, because everybody else is blockchain, talking about blockchain, we need blockchain, but why? And same story, reflecting, I think, in this context as well. And as you said before as well, I think that's also where we get positioned as well, from the moonshot or the roof shot, or really the operational one, that we have the capabilities in-house as well to make that links. Because very honestly, talking back about the workshops, from time to time, we should also understand that for many of our clients, many of our people as well, it is still a dark side, meaning it's still the story of the cloud, understanding what's actually happening, what can we do, what can it do for me, what can it do for our firms, and so on. So still lots of opportunities to understand for us as well.
And maybe and on the dark side, something that should not be underestimated, if you talk to the larger audiences, is to make sure that you are honest and transparent about the potential impact it can have on jobs or not, or what your strategic view is as a management team on this. Because when people start seeing the possibilities and they start seeing that their job might be, I would say, impacted, there may be a kind of like fear, which is, I would say, slowing down the adoption. If you're then, as a management team, really transparent and clear, like, look, we see the potential to augment and improve your experience, but also your efficiency and so on, and there's no intention to just lay off people, but actually we want to be a better company for the society or for our customers. That will bring a lot of, I would say, trust and I would say a better dynamic for, I would say, joint innovation and working on creating those value pockets.
And maybe coming back then to the true point of the predictions, but predicting 12 months ahead in the current environment is probably going to be a stretch. But if you look at maybe the next 6 months, because we have seen, it's not a linear growth that we are seeing. So do you think that we will see that continuing, and is it indeed going to be the Gen AI type of stuff that is then in the public domain that's going to be the next big thing, or is it something that is going to be more corporate focused? What's your take on that? Well,
AI, we should not underestimate. A lot of our organization, our clients have already been using AI. When you look at pharma, for example, data and AI has been used for quite a long time. If you look at financial services, AI has been used for a long time. The new addition, which has the biggest acceleration, I would say, in terms of capabilities, is actually that Gen AI. And I'm impressed every single day by the potential it can bring, because we have the luxury to talk to many clients, but also part of a European group within PwC. So I hear also in other countries, other organizations, different industries, the potential value that Gen AI can create is just enormous. And if I look, whether it's 6 months ahead or a year or 5 years ahead, I think this will be a continuous positive flow of new capabilities that will be unleashed by the power of Gen AI, as Gen AI is also getting better and better and better. Even now, if you compare to, I would say, the initial launches, or even if you compare to 6 months ago, the quality of Gen AI and what it brings and what it can bring has improved already that much that just being skeptical of saying, oh, by the way, there were like 7 points and one was wrong. Actually, that attitude is a bit outdated and is nefast for your organization. If you see the potential, it can really have a profound impact on your employees in a positive way, on your clients in a positive way, on your financials in a positive way. Overall, I see a lot of evolving and positive evolving growth trends in the different areas.
Because also an interesting point I make is that a lot of companies are already doing it. So it's not that, do you want to be the first mover? Well, the first movers are already way ahead. So.
But it's a different speed, because and this is also based on the many conversations. Some companies say, oh, we now have licenses for ChatGPT and Copilot, and we're doing it. When you start going into a bit deeper discussions or in workshops, you and they realize that actually they're not necessarily benefiting of all the potential that is in there, and the investment in adoption and extracting the value of the investments that you have done is somehow I would say under Snowd, under the check in the box, we're doing Gen AI.
Yeah.
I think as CEO or C-level or a management layer, I think it's an honest attitude, or say, I would say a very interesting attitude to be very demanding for yourself and for the teams on, okay, we now have those tools. Let's think on what value it can bring, because I think that will unleash further.
And that's important because you do sense a bit when you talk to people now, again, looking also at the output of the CEO survey, but also other surveys. Some are a bit disappointed about what it brings today. That's, I think, clear. But maybe it's also linked to the fact that indeed, you need to go through a first phase that it's a mass deployment of. It's then taking a step back as to why are you doing it? Why are you using AI? And it's probably that is going to be the thing of the next months. It's taking a bit of a step back because otherwise it's a bit of a rat race. You follow something, but you don't really know why, and you don't really know in which direction it's going to go. Isn't that the true next step? And
Yeah, but also the flashback launch of the internet. Yeah. Everybody also said like, wow, this is that will be game changing, and it has also taken organizations time to benefit from all possibilities. And if you look at actually in digital transformation, where tens of years further, and there's still opportunities that a lot of organizations are further exploiting. The adoption and the value realization with Gen AI is much faster, really impressive. But I think that the expectations are sometimes extremely high that the whole audience should just use it now and they should be experts with it by tomorrow. I think there's the continuous need to invest in that adoption, but also giving the organization the time to change the way of working, unleash that value. I think more realistic than just thinking that, we installed it, and where is a 50% productivity gain? It doesn't work like that. You have a change trajectory that you need to go to. Okay, clear. That's all the time that we have for today, but thanks, Quinten and Xavier. And thanks for also tuning in again to this session of our AI Unscripted series. More to come in other sessions, but of course what you have learned today, I think, is interesting, because yes, the future will evolve even faster than it did in the past, but there is basically the core that will not remain, and that's basically what you want to achieve as a company, but also as an individual in terms of strategy. So tune into next sessions, and I hope that you liked this one. Thank you. Bye-bye.